negotiation.
Smiles, everyone. We must be careful how we present ourselves.
Why did Divine Victoria call the Exalted Council? She's kept Orlais from bothering us for the last 2 years.
At increasing political cost, yes. She has done all she can, but the Exalted Council has become necessary. Orlais would control us, and based on their many marriage proposals, they have specific plans for you. Our real concern is Ferelden. They would see us disbanded entirely.
Inquisitor, it has been too long. I hope the years have been kind to you.
How have you been, Mother Giselle?
I spent last summer in Emprise du Lion, distributing food sent from the Exalted Plains. The Dales are finally recovering.
Since Corypheus fell, I think you may have spent more time traveling than I have.
It keeps me out of trouble, Your Worship. The Inquisition forces were of great help tending the sick. The Elysian soldiers at Suladin Keep, somewhat less so. Divine Victoria asked me to greet you on her behalf. She is currently attending to the Ferelden ambassador's concerns.
I'll speak to Divine Victoria.
I believe she would appreciate that, Your Worship. The Divine sees the good that you can do and have done. Duke Cyril will wish to greet you on behalf of Orlais. I believe he is currently speaking with the Tevinter ambassador. Many of your friends have returned as well. I hope you have a chance to speak with them before the Exalted Council begins.
The Imperium sent an ambassador?
Yes, Your Worship. Dorian Pavas has taken the chance to return from Tevinter.
Thank you, Mother Giselle.
Your Worship, a final question, if I may. This Exalted Council, Ferelden would have the Inquisition disband. Orlais sees its power as another feather in a chevalier's helmet. What do you wish to do with the Inquisition?
The Inquisition still has work to do. We can't let someone's fear push us into disbanding.
Then I wish you luck in the negotiations to come. Make a watch over you, Inquisitor. I will not keep you any longer.
I'll be here if you need me.
Fashionably late. I thought you weren't gonna show.
I'm late, and you decide to make the Winter Palace rubble.
Hey, never liked it anyway. Too fancy. So tell me everything that happened while I was away. And after the betrayal, and what I put those men through, my sorries were worth about as much as shit.
How many people hit you?
I lost count at 12. but I could take a punch. They needed to know that there's a way to come back from anything. And I wanted to help them if I could. I thought going up there on the gallows was difficult. This was worse. 100 times worse. Anyway, it's nice to be back, though I'm not sure what to think of this council. No matter what, you know you can always count on my sword arm and my friendship.
If that's your sword arm, I think I'm better off without it.
Think you can do better?
Fine by me.
Your Worship, I'm glad you're here. Listen, I need you to keep the Chief distracted while we sneak this dragon skull through the room behind him.
Got it.
It's for his birthday.
Didn't ask, Krem.
All right, here he comes. Just keep him talking. He loves talking.
Kadan, made time for a drink.
You know, I've been asking around about new equipment. For us. There's a merchant in Valrio who sells these silver rods with little cuffs that work like stocks.
I prefer rope work myself. Knots are easier to adjust and more intimate. But if it's stocks you want, you're worth it. Maybe the merchant will throw in some clamps, too.
It's good to see that the Veil has largely healed, now that most of the major rifts are closed. You might think otherwise, but the Veil isn't technically a physical barrier. It's more like a magical vibration that repels the Fade. It's fascinating to see the remnants of Syrian culture here. Most of it was deliberately erased during Orlesian unification under the reign of Mafrath's son Isarath.
Uh-huh.
Do you think news of the Exalted Council could affect the lyrium shipments from Orzammar?
Maybe.
Did you know that Ferelden has its own names for lords? The country is divided into Tairnirs, governed by Tairns. Inside those are cities and Arlings ruled by Arls, and then there's the Banorn. It's a large area of countryside ruled by multiple bands.
Good to know.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Chief!
Oh, you guys. You got me.
Inquisitor Herald, glad to be back for whatever it is this lot have shoved up their sleeves. Just right up in there.
That's it? It's been some time.
Well, we don't know what's what, so what's there to go on about? It's Inquisition business, innit? That's all we are. Maybe sort out how they want to mess with us. Then there'll be something to talk about.
Inquisitor. something you need.
Oh, yes.
I suppose.
Maker.
Scout lace Harding, swift and cunning her arrows.
You there! You're to dodge, not catch. If that ball were a fireball, you'd be dead.
You found a dog.
They don't breed Mabari in Olay. The merchant said he was abandoned. Perhaps his owner's tired of the novelty.
Tire of you? With that positive attitude and fetching ability?
He's not supposed to fetch it.
I don't think you understand how this works.
Another Ferelden trapped at the Winter Palace. I couldn't leave him to that fate. Besides, I think he likes me.
I never expected you to make friends at a political council. How times have changed.
So they have. The Inquisition will change after this. I'm not yet sure what that will mean. Whatever happens, our people, you, Liliana, Josephine, will have my support in whatever form you require.
If your support comes with that of your new friend, I'm sold. I know a useful ally when I see one.
You can help. Dodge this, and I'll find overpriced Orlesian dog treats before we go.
Darling, you made it. Excellent. I scheduled this appointment ages ago, and they do appreciate punctuality.
Appointment?
With the Imperial Garden Spa, of course. You work so hard, my dear. I wanted to treat you.
Well, that's very generous.
I know. I even surprise myself sometimes.
What are the cheese wheels for?
It pains me that you even have to ask. You've clearly been living too long in barely civilized conditions.
Did you hear something?
Relax, darling. It's spa day. How have you been? It seems ages since we've spoken. Things are going well between you and the Iron Bull, I hope?
Are you digging for gossip, Vivienne? Trying to get me to give up the juicy details?
Merely expressing concern for your well-being, my dear. Someone ought to.
Do you come to this spa very often?
As often as I can. Sadly, no more than twice a year at best. Duty first. Don't you feel better, my dear? This place really does work miracles.
What happened?
Darling, it's spa day. Don't fret. You'll undo all the good they've done. Come along, Inquisitor. They have other appointments, you know.
Divine Victoria. Am I interrupting?
Of course not, Inquisitor. I was catching up with Redcliffe's Arl. He's here to represent Ferelden at the summit.
Inquisitor, good to meet you.
I had hoped to steal a moment of the Divine's time.
Very well. We'll continue this later, your perfection.
Many are frightened of the Inquisition's power, but I will do all I can to allay their fears.
Is there anything I can do to make your job easier?
Explore the grounds. Let yourself be seen. The delegates need to put a face to the legend. I have much to do, but let me say this. I may no longer be your spy master, but I am always here if you require.
I'm glad you finally arrived, Inquisitor. The Crown's anxious for news.
And your thoughts on Ferelden's position?
The breach is long gone, yet Skyhold's army remains. Ferelden can't continue to ignore soldiers on its borders.
I appreciate knowing where Ferelden stands.
You are owed that, Inquisitor, especially here. These Orlesians will talk circles around you before you get a simple greeting out. I won't keep you longer. We'll have words enough when the Exalted Council begins.
Orlais is on your side, Lord Parvis. The Inquisition's support is not a thing to lose lightly.
Which is why the Orlesian court is circling it with a net and collar? But you'll have to excuse me. I see an old friend I must greet. Inquisitor, how long has it been? Don't actually tell me. I despise feeling old. It's good to see you, my friend.
Thrilled to be at the Exalted Council, Lord Parvis.
Oh, riveted. Orlais wants the Inquisition tamed, Ferelden wants it gone, the Chantry meddles, and Tevinter sends but one ambassador. That's me, by the way. A reward for my interest in the South. Thankfully, Ambassador Pavis is a token appointment. Call on me as you like.
Inquisitor, Duke Cyril Montfort, member of the Council of Heralds and Lord of Chateau Haine. I have long followed your work. It is extraordinary.
Is that sentiment shared by the rest of the court?
Of course. Orlais wishes only to offer respectful guidance to the Inquisition.
Does your Grace feel the Inquisition should continue to rule itself?
I would rather see the Inquisition join us freely than be carved into pieces for the chessboard. I have not forgotten Justinia's death. I had friends who perished at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. More than the good you have done, it is a good we may do together I don't wish to lose. Whatever happens, Inquisitor, I wish you well.
Where is that servant?
I can't believe it's been so long.
Around 2 years.
That's it? 2 years? Sweet merciful maker, it felt like 10. That could have been all the wine. Only thing back home I really missed.
Will you walk with me? The first time I came to the Winter Palace, I was only 18. I was dazzled. Such rich hangings, splendid marble columns, more golden lions than I could count. It's all still here, still bright, but I no longer see that same palace.
Everything changes. People, most of all.
Yes. Now all I see are hands rubbed raw to make gold gleam, tears shed in the night over silk embroidery. Others overlook them and forget their pain, but I am divine and I cannot be blind. They seek to tear the Inquisition down. You feel it, no? Fear.
I'd fear anyone with our vault of secrets, wouldn't you?
It is not our secrets, nor our soldiers. There have always been spy masters and private armies. They are afraid of nothing so much as the hand that directs it all.
Mine.
Already your actions have begun to reshape Thedas. Your influence is felt everywhere. It was only a matter of time before they moved. I'm surprised it took this long. The Inquisition's time is coming to an end.
Is that the decree of Her Perfection Divine Victoria? That the Inquisition be dissolved?
As divine, it is my duty to think of Thedas and all our peoples. We set out to restore peace, and now peace is upon us. Some things can only be accomplished in shadow, without the trappings of power and the attention they bring. But whatever you decide, I will be honored to stand beside you.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Now, Artigan, as to your concerns...
The Inquisition established an armed presence in Ferelden territory. You outright seized Caer Bronach in Crestwood.
Yes, from bandits. Would you like us to give it back to them?
Your help was appreciated 2 years ago, Inquisitor. Now order has been restored, yet you remain. Invading under pretext of restoring order is exactly what the Grey Wardens did to us centuries ago, and we exiled them. Now the Inquisition is doing the same thing with Grey Wardens in their ranks.
Your concern is ill-founded. The Grey Wardens have proven their worth time and again.
Of course Orlais tolerates this interference. The Inquisition is the only reason Selene still has the throne.
Rest assured, Tegan, the Empire of Orlais will not stand idle if the Inquisition oversteps its bounds. Unlike Ferelden, however, Orlais understands that these were the well-intentioned mistakes of a young organization.
An organization in need of a guiding hand. Yours, no doubt.
Pardon me, Inquisitor. Divine Victoria wishes to speak with you in private.
My apologies. An urgent matter has come to my attention. Ambassador Montelier, can you handle this for a short while?
Of course, Inquisitor.
This is highly irregular.
Perhaps it would be best if we took a short recess. The guard said we should both see this. I believe she was correct. A Canary warrior in full armor. How did he get into the Winter Palace?
Would the Iron Bull know anything about this?
I asked, and he is as surprised as we are. Since becoming Tal Vashoth, he has had no contact with his people. He seems frustrated at not knowing more.
We need to find out what's going on. Can Josephine manage the diplomats while I look around?
She will be fine. It's all speeches and posturing for the first few days anyway. I will extend the recess as long as possible. I will also have our friends ready themselves for battle if need be.
You think that's likely?
I think the Exalted Council may be more exciting than we expected.
If this is some sort of illusion trick, I'll have your hide. I don't know.
It looks like he came down over the railing. An active illuvium. If I'm going through it, I'm not going alone.